Good morning, dear students. Welcome back again with the last session of this lesson, Law of Motion. We have in the previous class we have studied about Newton's first law of motion and second law of motion. So we have studied about the force and its effect with the help of these two laws of motion. Now Newton's third law of motion. The statement is very common and very familiar to you all. To every action there is equal and opposite reaction. That's all we have already studied. Let's see how it works out. The force cannot act alone. So always it acts in the pairs. Individually, we cannot apply force with a single object. Unless until two objects or two substances do not interact with each other, force cannot exist. So force cannot act alone. Force is a reciprocal action between two objects. If one force is less, other has to be more. That is how reciprocal. If first one is increasing, the other has to decrease. That is how reciprocal is. The force is a reciprocal action between two objects. Force are always applied in pairs. When two objects apply a force on another object, the latter object also simultaneously means at the same time, apply the force on the former object. The forces between two objects are always equal and opposite. So they apply the force, equal forces applied in the opposite direction. This idea is expressed in Newton's third law of motion. The force applied by the first object is called action force, while the force applied by the second object is called as reaction force. Every action force has an equal and opposite reaction force which acts simultaneously. In order to explain this, here a few examples are there. That is firing of rocket. Now you know that rocket moves in the vertically upward direction. Automatically it does not move. Here also Newton's for third law of motion is applied. With the same force and velocity, the fuel is ignited in the downward direction. The same velocity, the rocket propulses moves in the upward direction. Similarly, another example is there. A gun recoils when a bullet is fired. You might be aware about the size of the gun and the bullet. Bullet is very small and the gun is very heavy. So when it is compared, the mass of bullet is very small as compared to the gun. So but the bullet is fired with a greater velocity. Of course, even the gun also moves in a backward direction. That is called as recoil velocity. Now the bullet will not move forward unless and until there is a recoil force moving in the backward direction. So that is how two forces are acting, but in opposite direction. Equal forces, opposite direction. Next subtopic is law of conservation of momentum. When no external force acts on two interacting objects, the total momentum remains constant. It does not change. So when two objects collides, the total momentum before collision is equal to total momentum after collision. To explain this, imagine two objects A and B. Let the mass of object A be m1, initial velocity be u1, and the final velocity be v1. Similarly, of mass, let another object B of mass m2 with its initial velocity u2 and final velocity as v2 when they will collide with each other. So before collision, the total momentum will be m1 u1 of A and initial momentum of B will be m2 u2. But after collision, the momentum will change because when two objects collide, then the object will be accelerated and it will have certain velocity, that is v1 and v2. v1 for object A and v2 for object B, and therefore the momentum after collision will be m1 V1 for object A and M2 V2 for object B. Let's see how. According to formula of momentum, initial momentum of A is m1 u1 and that of B is m2 u2. After collision, let force on A is due to B be F1, which will cause acceleration in A. Momentum after collision equals to m1 v1. According to Newton's third law of motion, A also exerts an equal force on B but in opposite direction, which will change B's momentum to m2 v2. So if F2 is the force acts on B, so now total forces are equal F1 F2, but since they are in opposite direction, one is positive and the other one is negative. So F2 equals to minus F1. But as per the formula of the force is nothing but m into A, which we already derived it with the help of Newton's second law of motion. So here F2 equals to minus F1. Formula of F2 is m2a2 and that of F1 is m1a1 since F equals to ma. As per the definition of acceleration, acceleration is defined as change in velocity per unit time, that is final velocity minus initial velocity upon time. And therefore the formula becomes m2 into bracket v2 minus u2 upon t equals to minus m1 v1 minus u1 upon t. Since here t is common, I have cancelled t. What is remaining? m2 bracket v2 minus u2 equals to minus m1 bracket v1 minus u1. m2 v2 minus m2 u2 equals to minus m1 v1 plus m1 u1. Bring the positive terms together and we get at last the expression as m2 v2 plus m1 v1. Sorry, m2 v2 plus m1 v1 equals to m1 u1 plus m2 u2. This indicates that total momentum before collision is equals to total momentum after collision. Hence, we have proved this law. Now, this can be explained with the help of one example. In order to understand this principle, consider a bullet fired from a gun. The mass of bullet m1 and the mass of the gun be m2. Its velocity becomes v1 and momentum becomes m1 v1. Before firing the gun, both bullet and the gun are at rest. Therefore, total momentum will be zero. Total momentum of both gun as well as the bullet is zero. But as soon as the bullet is fired, now the bullet acquires velocity v1, and therefore after collision, after interacting with each other, the bullet propels in the forward direction. At that time, to whatever is the total momentum before collision, same has to be the total momentum after collision. Before collision momentum is zero, so after collision also momentum should be zero as per the law. Total momentum before collision equals to total momentum after the law. Thus, as per the law, final momentum has to be zero. Thus, the forward moving bullet causes a heavy gun to move backward but slowly. That is we call it as recoil velocity, which is nothing but v2. Therefore, m1 v1 plus m2 v2 is also equals to 0. Or simplified form, we can write it as v2 equals to minus m1 upon m2 into v1. Now here we have covered up all, we have opened up or exposed all the subtopic of this lesson. I hope so all the doubts, all the topics are clear to you. In case if you have any doubt is always welcome, but in the form of messages. Have a great day. Take care. Thank you.